Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Man United 90. This is a review of our match today against Southampton, which was a 1-all draw. A bit of a stinker, to be honest, because after such an amazing performance against Leeds last week around, the expectations were certainly high. But again, I think for the team, it's definitely a reality check, something that they need to learn from and respond next week. We can't be too deflated about it. It wasn't a loss. To be honest, in points during the game, I thought Southampton were the team that looked most likely to score a second goal. And I think they had better chances. If it wasn't for David De Gea, I think they could have scored their second goal. But anyway, it ended up at 1-1. A little disappointing, that's for sure, because we do have very high expectations with our team this season. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a tough game. I felt that United were sloppy. They kept losing the ball. Not sure. Well, there were a lot of things that this match proved for me personally. One of those things were that Martial definitely does not deserve to start. I think he can be used as a sub. Maybe it's just me. I don't really rate Martial. Maybe he doesn't have game time. But the kind of talent that we have in Mason Greenwood, unless they both him and Greenwood and Cavani are not available, there's no reason for Martial to play up front. So I think today I was kind of disappointed to see Martial play up front and Mason Greenwood, who had an amazing performance against Leeds, play on the right hand side. So I think that was something that could have maybe changed the game. But Ole knows best. I'm sure he would have seen today's game. He gave Martial a chance that, in my eyes, he didn't take. And so hopefully, if Eddie is not available in the next game, Greenwood can certainly start up front. He's already scored his second goal of the season. I think 8 goals in 10 games, Premier League games. So I think he's done more than enough to be the guy who can lead from the front. That's that, I think. But I was kind of expecting Edison Cavani to be on the bench, and if he was available today and he came from the bench, I think he would have won the game. Because he's the kind of player who would like that McTominay cross. There was a point in the game where I think from a throw-in, McTominay put in a cross, but there was just no one in the box. I think Cavani would have been on the end of it definitely, and other types of chances that we don't see. But when Cavani's playing, all of a sudden he's in a position where ball comes and he scores a goal. So I think if he was available today, we could have probably scored another goal. But that's that again. We have to move on from this. I did feel deflated after the game, but we shouldn't be expecting too much at the same time. Again, like I said, I think for me personally, it was just a reality check. We were flying after the Leeds game, and this is kind of brings us back down to earth, and we can now analyze how good is the team, which I think it certainly has positions that can be improved upon. This is not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what it is. I can say midfield was poor, but I think really our defense was horrible. Like I said, Southampton looked like the team most likely to score a second goal, not us, and that's largely due to our defense losing the ball, plus midfield losing the ball. It was just very sloppy. Nothing was as fluid. It was just they would get the ball and then they would lose the ball right away. I think the way United play and they play from the back as well. That means most of our I would say most of our style of play, or the way we build our game, defense is the foundation of that. When we get a goal kick, it's usually a short pass to a defender and then it moves from player to player. And like I said, our defense was poor, so our foundation wasn't strong enough. Um, so I mean, I think out of the 11, apart from one or two players, everyone made mistakes, which is a complete contrast from the previous game against Leeds. But again, a reality check. I hope United learn from this and move on. Um, I know a lot of people. I was watching Stratford Paddock in the comment section. A lot of people saying, this could be a game we can look back upon and say, cost us the title or whatever. But to be honest with you, if at the end of the season we are sitting and looking back at this game and saying, oh, because of these points, these two points that we dropped, we lost the title, then I would say, that means we probably had a very cracking title charge, which is basically what we want. No one expects us to go ahead and win the title. What we want is to be up there and competing for it. I know we were second last year, but at no point we were competing for the title. So, if this means at the end of the season we lose the title by 2 points, I guess we've been competing, and that's an improvement. We can build upon that. So, again, take positives from it, no negatives, Again, it's only really early in the season to be sad about a draw. If at the end of the season, we look back upon this and say, oh, this was the game, like I said, it's not such a bad thing. Again, a team selection, I'm not the one to criticize our manager. I think he knows best, but some things you just notice, and that's because we don't know the whole story behind a lot of the decisions that are made. And one of them is not playing Donny van de Beek. If McTominay was injured, I would have expected... I didn't expect Matic to play the whole game, which basically he did. Matic was done after 55 minutes. He looked exhausted. He was giving too many balls away. Not sure why Donny was never involved. Lingard came on. Sancho came on. But Donny, McTominay came on, but I don't know why Donny van de Beek was never involved. I think he's a creative player in the midfield, and we lack creativity in the midfield. But again, I'm confused. A lot of people are confused, but it seems like no one knows the reason behind it. Maybe Ole just doesn't like him or the way he trains. Who knows? Just to touch upon some positives, I think Pogba had another assist. Mason Greenwood had another goal. And that's basically it. United need to learn from this. Players need to make sure this does not happen again, that they are pumped up for the next game, because they were certainly not pumped up for this game. They were almost sleepwalking. They thought the result of the last game against Leeds would be the basis of a win against Southampton today, which obviously it wasn't. But absolutely no reason to doubt the players or the managers just yet. I mean, it's only the second game of the season. I don't want to say that it's only a second game and be too complacent about it, because big teams don't, and United have been in that position for far too long, where they're like, oh, it's only a game, let's move on. But it's not a loss. Previously we've been. Our draws have been disappointing. Our losses have been disappointing, just because we've known that our team isn't strong enough compared to this year, where we know that we have a pretty good team. It's not a bad team. Our squad is pretty strong, so there's nothing to be sad about. I know it is a stinker. Obviously we want United to win every single game, and it's not going to happen. There are going to be losses this season. There are going to be more draws this season, and we learn and we move on each game and take it as it is, and that's all. I'm just looking forward to the next game more than ever now. It's against Wolves away. I think that's before the international break as well, if I'm not wrong. I'll have to recheck up on that. But I'll do another video where I predict the starting lineup. I know what I predicted. There were definitely a lot of changes, or surprises, I would say. Honestly, I never expected Matic to start. And in the matches where I do expect him to start, for example, let's say FA Cup or League Cup matches, I don't expect him to play 90 minutes because he just can't do 90 minutes in that position, in that role. He just can't do it. So that was certainly surprising. I hope Ole notices that, and if he doesn't, I hope there's a good reason behind it, because we definitely needed someone in the midfield who could just hold it together. It seemed like no one was able to hold it together today. So that's all. Again, let's move on from this, learn from this, and let's hope United respond in a very positive manner against Wolves next week. I'll be making another video where I do a preview of the match. And until then, please share, like, and subscribe my channel. A lot of people did view my last video, the preview against Southampton, but no one subscribed. So please, if you are watching the video and you like it, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. And until the next one, take care. Bye.